Society will always take advantage of hard workers. We live in a point in society where, from what I've noticed, a lot of people in the younger generation, even though some may be nice, chill, and cool, a lot of them are just trying to get by and just live for today. They don't care much about putting in their best foot forward. They don't care much about putting in their all. And a lot of them stems to link back at social media. Social media, for the average user, for the average person in America, it takes up most of their time every single day. There's pros behind the use of smartphones, tablets, computers, technology, and there's a lot of cons. And if you've heard of the term, and you should understand the term, where you control and take control of technology, you don't let technology control you. That goes a very long way. From what I've been around, what I've experienced, what I've seen, living in this country, no matter where you go in America, society will always take advantage if you're a hard worker. I noticed some of the looks in people's eyes, previous coworkers, past coworkers, and this is all mainly related to the workplace. And this is also real life as well. This is why I have high respects for people who are in customer service or in retail. It requires a lot of your patience, your time, and your mental health. You have to have the right mental capacity to just deal with people in certain jobs. Imagine dealing with your coworkers that some could be negative, plus you got to deal with customers, especially in a busy environment, a busy workplace. Places like Target, Walmart, the mall. I have to pay high respects to people who does customer service and retail, even telemarketers. They still got a job. They still got bills to pay. Everybody has bills. Everybody have some sort of responsibility, especially when you're past the age 18, 19, 20. You have responsibilities. There's a good advantage and a bad advantage. The good advantage about taking advantage of people is when they are giving you the opportunity to take advantage of them. Like, they're open with it. They're like, hey, I got you. Go do your thing. I'll watch your kids for you. I'll watch your dog. Or I'll watch your car. I'll do this and this and that. But in general, I'm talking about coworkers, associates, people that you normally work around, that you see the most time out of the week, depending on your job. They may have your best interests at heart, but don't take advantage of them. Because when you're a hard coworker, you finally have the opportunity to take a break because one of your coworkers are willing to relieve you, or your supervisor is telling you to take time off. Don't take it for granted. Everybody in corporate, the hospital, any job that you work for, any job that where you're working for, where you're at, there's going to be people that has feelings. Some people will feel some type of way if you take advantage of them too much. And you may be the same person or labeled as the same people, that people won't no longer look out for you like that anymore, and then you're going to become a hard worker by default, by force, because you messed it up. You messed up the ties. You messed up the relationship with your supervisor, your coworkers. You messed it up. This is the same thing for outside relationships as well. Family members could take advantage of a hard-working person. Like, oh, let's call him up. He'll do this and that for us. They might charge you a little bit of money. Not charge you a little bit of money. They might pay you a little bit. And they might just be like, hey, we're still family and stuff. By the exact same time, depending on the situation, that's your time, your body, and your hard work. They should be reasonable with how much they pay you. Like, for instance, say if a family member knows you're a hard worker, they know you work for a moving company, they pay you 20, they'll be willing to pay you like maybe $20 to move like 20 boxes. And they're all heavy. And they put the strain on your back and your muscles and your shoulders. $20 for the whole day? You would expect it to at least get paid like maybe $120, $160, depending on the situation. In general, overall, this is what happens. The bad advantages is when people abuses that trust, they abuse their power. They abuse it. They abuse that hard worker into becoming a hard worker, because you could be in a chill working environment. You go on vacation. You say you're going to come back within a week. You're gone for 3-4 weeks. And depending on the work atmosphere, of how chill the supervisor is, or if the company is not tight, it's not up to par, people are going to run a lot of game. That's why I recommend anybody who's in a situation where you feel like you're taken advantage of by some of your coworkers, you feel like some of your coworkers is walking all over you, they may be stuck on their smartphones, they're at work. It's not your responsibility to do double the work. It depends on what job it is, because there's some jobs where you're in the food kitchen, retail. You take up all the load. You take up double the load because your coworker want to sit around, be lazy, be in the toilet, take advantage of you and their time. And that's how they kill a lot of time as well. And the companies are paying for people to be lazy and not do much. And it puts a strain and a burden on you. You become a very hard coworker by default because you're forced to be in that position. And now you're thinking about quitting. Some people take advantage of people that says things like, oh, I want a lot of overtime, but if this person is not going to do much, I'd rather not do all the overtime as much as I can. I'd rather go somewhere else to get a peace of mind. See, people in this generation today, these Gen Zs, a lot of them are ruthless. A lot of them don't care. Ever heard of the term quiet quitting? That means that you are no longer going above and beyond for a company or your job position or whatever your role that you're doing. You're just doing your job. And I'm all for it. If one of my coworkers is going to be slow at their job, I'm going to be slow. Oh, he's trying to put the work on me? I'm going to do the exact same thing. Sometimes you got to beat the system at their own game. It's not only their fault, it's the supervisor's fault. It's corporate's fault, depending on the job position. Some jobs are just laid back like that. Some supervisors are like that. Don't get me wrong. You can't forget about the favoritism. Favoritism automatically leads to the company or the associates or the supervisors or the team leads looking out for those associates instead of the hardworking individual or the newbie. Because there's some companies that will take advantage of the new employees. Because the company I work for right now, I work in a hospital. I work in a hospital right now. I had a few coworkers who barely knew me. It's been my first week. A few of them came up to me and they were checking on me, asking me if I was okay. I was a little suspicious until I found out that there was a lot of drama at the job. There's favoritism. And I wasn't surprised. One of my coworkers, he told me, like, yo, you just have to know how to beat some people at their own game. You just have to know and understand how to play the game. Don't be a fool. Don't be naive, and don't let people walk all over you. Don't be a pushover. It causes problems when you leave that all up inside of you, and you're gonna explode. You're gonna get tired of it, and you're gonna make your own self quit. That's why when you're in a point of no return and you're at the point where you feel stuck, you've been a hard worker for so long. Now a hardworking worker for so long. Now your supervisor is going to expect that from you, and a lot of people are going to always expect that from you. And it makes you look very bad if you start just taking breaks all of a sudden, depending on the job position. This is why I say how you are from the get up, how you are from the get up, the get-go, starting off with wherever you work. Be observant, be smart about it, and respect yourself. Respect yourself enough to not be pushed over, not be a pushover, and not be taken advantage of, because society and a lot of people out here is going to eat a lot of hard working people alive. They will eat you alive. You got a job? Go in and just do your job. You catch yourself going above and beyond? Cut that out. If you got time to spare, you got time to spare. As long as you're not killing yourself. There's countries out here where people are committing suicide because they're being overworked. Working 12, 14, 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, because they're being taken advantage of. They're targeted as a hard worker. There's companies that use how much money you're going to get paid per hour, but there's a catch. There's a lot of work. This could also be like in warehouses. There was a warehouse job. There was one time I was working past 15, 16 hours. I was working past 15 to 16 hours at this one warehouse job. You know what I did the next day? Called my supervisor and I told him, hey, I'm quitting. I can't do it. The job hours is not what I expected. He had a fit. He was upset and pissed about it. But hey, it is what it is. I had a big check, but was it worth it? Was it worth all that time? Was it worth my energy? Was it worth my sleep? Was it even worth my life? I blame a lot of corporate jobs, certain systems, favoritism, how some supervisors are, how some CEOs are, and how some things are run. Stuff like this is never going to be stopped. You just have to understand and know how to play the game. Simple as it is. Go in, clock in, just do your job. Don't go above and beyond. Clock out and do what you have to do. You're not favorite. There's no favoritism here. Don't sweat it. There's always better out there. There's pros and cons in every job that you go to. And it's mainly due to coworkers, the atmosphere, toxic work environments. I seen it all and I understood it all and I've been through it all. Society will always eat a hard working individual alive. That's why you have to know how to play the game and don't show that up front. It's unfortunate, but you can't show it. You can't show that side. In many cases, you can't show that side. You can't. And don't be a pushover either. Know how to speak up. Casual talk here. Peace out. Let me know what you think.